Hey guys, Ronan Reaver here. Last night I finally saw Oppenheimer. Of course I was on holiday for a few weeks. Of course, of all the weekends that I happened to to be away, it was the weekend this opened. But as they say, no pain, no gain, because this was my most anticipated film of the year. Because I love Nolan. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, one of the best working today. And so naturally, I was instantly excited when this was announced, and also that insanely stacked cast list. You had to be there because like every few days they would announce some huge name would be would be starring in it, and like, heads would turn. It's an ensemble big enough that Wes Anderson would look at it, pause, and go, "Damn." Like, like that's how disgustingly stacked this is. Like, it cannot be real, right? But is the final product worthy of all the talent involved? Let's find out. So, the film, of course, tells the story of quantum physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, who has been dubbed the father of the atomic bomb. The film spans a large portion of Oppenheimer's life, starting off with him studying and him getting into quantum physics, to his involvement with the Communist Party, to eventually being made director of the Manhattan Project and developing the atomic bomb, and also the moral conundrum he faces with the potentially limitless destructive power of such a weapon. So by now you know this thing's whole production history. This is Nolan's first film at Universal because he had a quite public falling out with Warner Bros. Over the HBO Max day and date thing. And you know, Universal basically just let Nolan do what what he wanted because Nolan has a certain way of commanding cinema screens. Like he knows how to make something that looks and feels cinematic. And right off the bat, Oppenheimer is an incredibly unique proposition, even by Nolan standards. Because he has taken a film that is basically a 3 hour drama of men in rooms talking talking politics, talking science. Like it is incredibly dense stuff, and I don't know how he has done it, but he has delivered that and made it feel incredibly cinematic. Like this could well be Nolan's magnum opus. I am not kidding. Well, with that cast list, you kind of expect it to be, but this is the vehicle that he does it with. It is quite simply remarkable. Like, sure, this may be dense and heavy with dialogue, heavy with like very scientific talk and also, a lot of political talk, but it's never hard to follow, it's never confusing, and above all, it never feels slow. Like, this may be 3 hours, but every single line of dialogue feels incredibly relevant to the plot, and and obviously Nolan has a certain way of getting plot exposition out there and delivering it in a way that feels succinct and feeling tight. And once again, Nolan's dialogue works an absolute treat, and but it's not just the plot relevance that keeps the pacing so engaging throughout. It's that lingering sense of dread that hangs over the film, obviously pertaining to the atomic bomb and its destructive power. Yeah, it is an incredibly engrossing watch, and none of this 3 hours ever feels like that. And of course, this being Nolan, you can't just have 3 hours just of a perfectly normal chronological film full of dialogue. No, this is framed in an incredibly unique way, where it's told from two different perspectives. told from one hearing from the perspective of Oppenheimer and another hearing from the perspective of a rival to Oppenheimer, Louis Strauss, and almost akin to like how The Social Network is told from the two different court cases against Zuckerberg. It's an incredibly unique framing device, and it always keeps you sort of on your toes, and it always keeps things engaging and full of energy. But it's never confusing or convoluted or hard to follow in regards to whose perspective it is. Mainly because of the decision to have Oppenheimer's scenes be, told in color, and any scene from Strauss's perspective is in black and white. And the contrast between these two is marked wonderfully by Hoyt van Hoytema's cinematography. Yep, he's basically Nolan's go-to at this point, and it's easy to see why. When he cooks, he cooks. Like, watch Nope if you haven't already. That just proves my point further. And the and through the contrast of the color and the black and white, it's a film that's rich with personality and energy in every single frame, and it looks so distinctly cinematic, especially when you pair it up with Nolan's love of practical effects, which comes into great use here. But it's not just in the visuals that the film feels like a cinematic experience. It's in the sound as well. Like, this is, it's a Chris Nolan film, so you expect lots of loud, booming sound design. And woof, there are some absolute gems here. Like the sound design for the Trinity test scene. Oh boy, it made my pulse race in the cinema. Is an incredible scene. It has to be seen on the big screen to really be experienced. And this is paired off really nicely with Ludwig Göransson's score, and he seems to be quietly becoming another Nolan go-to. With Hans Zimmer both times. Göransson has worked with Nolan. Hans Zimmer both times has been busy composing Dune. Not a coincidence, but But yeah, Goranson's score absolutely slaps, especially the recurring "Can you hear the music" motif that plays quite regularly. It is fantastic. But it's not just the visuals and the sound and the story structure that makes it so engrossing. It's all sold wonderfully by a cracking ensemble cast. Of course, the film is led by a impressively magnetic Cillian Murphy. Yeah, he's this very coolly compelling presence for like half the film, where he's very much trying to balance not only the theoretical physics to make the thing possible, also the moral conundrum as well as some politics. And once the sort of like moral questions become like the film's focal point and the film really begins to reckon with it, you see this like subtle change in Murphy's demeanor. It's incredible. He's also matched up by a fantastic ensemble, including Emily Blunt as his sharp-witted wife, Matt Damon. Matt Damon! As a take no shit soldier who he has a very fun dynamic with. You also got Florence Pugh dominating her scenes as sort of an on-off lover of Oppenheimer's. You've also got people like Casey Affleck, Gary Oldman, Kenneth Branagh, Rami Malek, Alden Ehrenreich, hell, even Benny Safdie, Jack Quaid, Josh from Drake and Josh. Like, this film's stacked. And obviously that's before, getting the people like Josh Hartnett, Jason Clarke, who has an absolutely incredible scene with Oppenheimer, genuinely pulse-pounding stuff. Also, Dane DeHaan and Roderick himself, Devin Bostick. Like this cast is absolutely stacked, and everyone here is great. But I have to give props to Robert Downey Jr. This is a potential career bet for him. He's fantastic. He is, He's this quite quietly vindictive man throughout most of the film, and he sells it so well. And you know, when the film sort of needs him to blow up later on, the film has his whole plan sort of basically begins to fall apart. He is fantastic. Like, obviously he's become so synonymous with Iron Man that it feels kind of strange seeing him in a non-Marvel project. But yeah, he relishes the opportunity, and I can't wait to see how his post-Marvel career develops further. And the film, of course, is not a happy one. Let's get that right out of the way. Like, given the subject matter, it leaves on a real downer, but oh boy, it's just so powerfully done, and leaves on such a striking choice of final shot. It's one that you really have to sort of let it digest and really let it sit with you, because wow, this it is, very heavy, very hard hitting stuff. And, yeah, this overall, this is probably one of Nolan's best films, if not his best film. It's absolutely his magnum opus. And, I'm gonna fucking say it, this is the film of the year. This was truly fantastic stuff. I absolutely loved every second of it. And after having it, really letting it sit with me over the overnight, I can I can safely say, yeah, this is a landmark cinematic achievement. Overall, I'm gonna give Oppenheimer a well-deserved 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go see it. it, it is truly well worth it. And obviously, if you can get to it in IMAX, that's definitely the way to go. And if you're lucky enough to have an IMAX 70 millimeter, then you might just become Chris Nolan's best friend. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Oppenheimer? What did you think of it? What's your favorite Nolan film? What was your favorite sort of famous person to notice in the film? And what sort of real life history would you like to see Nolan cover next? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.